Hey everyone, welcome to Practice with Paige. Today we are going to be doing something just a little bit different. We will not be doing a yoga flow. We are just going to be here talking all things root chakra. So that is why I'm wearing red today in honor of the root chakra. I will be doing a little grounding down through the root chakra at the end of this video if you want to stay on for that. So for today, let's talk about the root chakra, what it is, what makes it it, right? So when you see the symbol of the root chakra, you're going to see a red circle because chakras are balls of energy. So you'll see this red circle and it'll have a square inside of it. And that makes a lot of sense to me as I'm looking into it because the main components that make the root chakra what it is there's four. So it's like these four pillars, if you will, that make it it. So we'll talk a little bit about each of them and then kind of check to see how are we able to evaluate our root chakra, see if it's open, see if our energy is where it needs to be. So for the first one, it's going to be the foundation, stability, safety, security. So when we're talking about this goes all the way back to when you're first born. You're not able to take care of yourself. You need that stability, that safety. And if this pillar is off, if your safety is in jeopardy at some sort, right, that's gonna, that's very pertinent. So you're not gonna be able to put that energy into the other chakras, into the other parts of your life, because this main part is imbalanced. And when we go into the second one, it's your physical health. So if anyone's been in that situation, I'm sure all of us have, where at some point your physical health is impaired. Car accidents or medical diagnosis or whatever that may be, it is enough to rock your world at sometimes, So that's terrifying. Another one of those huge pillars where if that is off, nothing else can be in balance. So going on to number 3, and this one might be a little bit of a surprise to you, but it makes sense, is finances. So we need to be able to be, not rich, but are you stable in your finances? Are you able to pay your bills? Are you living outside of your means? Are we able to look at that and see, okay, yeah, I can pay my bills on time, maybe go out to dinner, maybe to a movie, we've got that grounding there. If anything happens, do we have some money set back, for just in case, things happen all the time. It's not so much if, it's kind of when something happens, do we have that safety net, that security of the finances there, that pillar standing strong. And then moving into the fourth one, it is our boundaries. And this is so important. Boundaries for ourselves, for others. I heard someone talk about this as think of it like a flower inside of a pot, right? So our roots, our root chakra, going down, we have to have those boundaries. If you try to plant a plant like on a plate, just plop it down, it's not going to grow. It'll die. It needs those boundaries, that security, that safety to hold it in. And yes, sometimes we do outgrow that confinement. We need to be repotted, expand our boundaries so our roots can grow even further. But to start with, we need that safe little snug pot for ourselves to grow. And so with these 4 components, we can kind of evaluate, how is your root chakra? Is it open? Is it flowing? With these main foundations, we can just check in. So to start with, you can ask yourself, do you feel safe? Do you feel secure? Do you feel supported? In what areas of your life do you feel this way? In what areas of your life don't you feel this way? And even in those areas that you don't feel this way, how are you able to reset that? How are you able to stabilize that pillar? And for physical health, yes, we do need to be putting good things into our body. We all know it, the diet, it's hard for a lot of us. The sweets are so good, but we're working on it, right? We're becoming aware. We are noticing that. So it's our diet, our exercise, quality sleep. Are you getting quality sleep ever? Occasionally? So evaluate that. You know, that pillar needs to be nice and strong. We have to, I've said this before, rest isn't it's not an award that you get. It's a requirement of your body. In order to function properly, you need rest. And then, let me see here. Made myself little notes for this. And then the embodiment, just being here in your body in this moment. And then moving on to the finances, the boundaries. Are we secure? Are there some things that maybe in our budget we could cut out? Are we spending a little too much? You know, evaluating each of these areas, each of these pillars. Where are my boundaries? For me, working from home now, awesome, right? But when I worked at the hospital, when I worked at the clinic, I had that schedule. I had that very strict 9 to 5 schedule where I was able to follow it. So coming into working for myself now, I am my own boss. I don't really have a certain schedule I have to follow, but also, is it okay for me to be working until 11 p.m.? Is it okay for me to be waking up super early? And, you know, like, what are my hours? What are my own boundaries? So evaluating that for yourself, not only for your, you know, career, but your friends, your family, your morals even. What are your boundaries? Are they set? Are you following them? So once we have these 4 pillars, even just becoming aware of them, how are they? How can we take even small steps towards resetting our foundation? And the beautiful thing, the point of all of this, I guess, is when we have this beautiful foundation, right? We're solid. So we know that we are able to take risk in our lives. Because when we fail, which we will, because you can't succeed without failure, when we fail, we have this solid foundation that we can fall back to. And we know that. It makes us less anxious because we know we're supported. It makes us be able to live in the moment because we're not worried about what's going to happen. Because even when something does happen, we have that foundation. I know this is a lot to take in. And I probably sound like I was rambling, maybe, but hopefully you were able to stick with me kind of through it. Feel free if you have any questions, drop a comment. I'll be able to answer best I can. And then if you would like, let's take a moment to ground down through that root chakra. So come on down to a seated position here with me. And then adjust the tailbone, the sits bones if you needed. Now, in that root chakra image that we talked about, so it's got the circle, the ball of energy, it's got the square, the 4 pillars, and then it's got a upside down triangle on the side, on the inside. And for me, that's like the tailbone, right? Because we ground down through the tailbone, and that is the location of our root chakra, our foundation. And even like the earth elemental, like that makes sense, kind of all plays in. All right, I'll stop chatting. So hopefully you're down here with me now. So I kind of thought of this today, and maybe it's a little cheesy, but stick with me here. Think of the earth or the ground, maybe even your mat, almost like when we have an outlet or when we have our computer and we plug things into it, right? So our root chakra, we're going to plug down into the ground, drawing energy up through the body. So we're going to take this time here to really bring our awareness down to the tailbone. Noticing if we're leaning forward, leaning backwards. Are all 4 of our pillars holding us up? Take a breath here, in. And on your exhale, really ground down. Find your connection to the earth, to the mat, to yourself. to see if you can become more relaxed in this position. I know we're upright. I know we're nice and tall. But can we find some things to soften? And then say to yourself, I am safe. I am supported. I am connected to myself and to others. And then bring your hands together here at heart center. Big inhale, raising your heart up towards your hands. Exhale, bow your chin towards your chest and really ground down one last time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you guys on Friday for our live session.